Thirsty Thursday. Welcome into another episode here of Dangle Bet Celly, live at our FTN Network YouTube page, coming at you on iTunes and Spotify, wherever it is that you listen to your favorite podcast. We greatly appreciate the support. Smash the like button if you're hanging out with us live, watching the replay here on the YouTube page. Also, smash the like button. Chris Meaney and Eric Young here with you at the Eric Young, at Chris Meaney. A busy Thursday in the NHL, a lot to get to. We're going to talk about our favorite picks, roll through all the games. We got an early afternoon game happening at 2 Eastern between the Red Wings and the Senators. Not going to spend a ton of time on that game, but we will address it here off the top of the show. Any fantasy hockey questions, leave them there in the comment section. Always circling back on these videos too, in case you're watching the replay and you have a question, address them at any moment. You can reach out, as I mentioned, on the X machine at the Eric Young, Chris Meaney, Mean Streets FTN at gmail.com. EY, what is up, good friend? A busy slate, man. Lots of action, and you're rocking the Coyotes.
Yeah, 2 in a row, out of respect for Clint and them dispatching my Nashville Predators. And it's a cool jersey. This is a Connor Garland jersey. That was a good purchase. I had it for about 6 months, and then he was traded to Vancouver.
And now he wants out of Vancouver, too. I mean, according
to he does. And they're winning, and they're like, no, we're cool. We're cool. Yeah. I mean, dude, 2 in a row, 2 shows in a row. And this might be a record this year. I've been brutal. You've been doing the Lord's work and carrying the show.
Brutal?
Doing it on your
Why
own.
Have been brutal?
I've been gone. I mean, I've just been gone, and it sucks. I mean, this is, doing these 2 shows was a huge source of happiness for me, and talking to the group and just talking hockey and breaking it down is important to me, and it sucks when I don't get to do it. But we got 2 in a row. Tuesday probably as well. I do have to fly to the other side of the world that day, but later in the afternoon, so probably be around on Tuesday as well.
Well, you're here now. And that's all that matters. And the people are here looking for the goal scorers. And I think that the show went pretty good on Tuesday. We did well. We called some goal scorers in the free article over at ftnbets.com every Tuesday and Thursday. Today's article will be there here shortly after the show here today. I'll put a link inside the description of this video. All 3 picks hit. The bonus picks went 9 for 13 and 9 for 13 on the goal scorers too. So pretty happy with how it went on Tuesday. Hopefully we can carry over here. We do have the Sharks on the slate, so we will pick on them yet again, and why not? But we do want to say what up to the crew as we normally do. Troy's in the house with a fantasy hockey question. Should I trade away Seth Jarvis and Jeff Skinner? I would say yes to Jeff Skinner. I mean, tough go for the Sabres at the moment. Tage Thompson's going to be out for quite some time. Alex Tuck is dealing with an injury. Buffalo is not playing good hockey at the moment. They can't keep the puck out of their net. I joined the Fantasy Ice On crew over at NHL.com this morning. We talked about the Sabres, like JJ Peterka was a guy that you called, I think, on Tuesday to score a goal. And he's seen an uptick in his ice time, and Casey Middlestat will see an uptick. But I just don't see the value in the moment in hanging on to these Sabres players. I think you can ride the hot hand of some other guys, and we'll address them in the show. But I see guys like Robert Thomas and Braden Shen. Their ownerships are hovering around 50%. These guys should be rostered. The Philly boys, Cam Atkinson, Owen Tippett, these guys should be rostered. Go make those moves. Ellie Tolvanen, your former boy, he's just been automatic, man, since the Kraken picked him up. He's basically a point per game guy. Hit the score sheet last night, had 5 or 6 shots against the Oilers. Oliver Bjorkstrand. Yeah, I'd make these moves. I'd maybe hang on to Seth Jarvis. I think the Hurricanes are just an overrated squad. That's how I feel. Like, sometimes they win 5-6-0. Other times they just disappoint. Last night was a disappointing performance on home ice against the Flyers. And credit to Philadelphia. Torts has them playing a great brand of 5-on-5 hockey, keeping the puck out of their net. Carter Hart. I would hang on Seth Jarvis just because he's linked to Aho and Svechnikov, and he had a pretty good start to the season. Obviously not going to be able to keep that pace up. But how do you feel about these 2 players? Like, if you own them, are you hanging on? Are you cutting bait with Jeff Skinner because the Sabres are super shorthanded up front? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, it's tough. Like we always say, without context of who's available and how many teams are in the league and how many teams you roster or how many players you roster. My thought on Skinner is he's going to be playing a ton of important minutes for Buffalo. Right. That doesn't mean he's going to do it. He's not a player that over the last 3 or 4 years I've typically wanted to count on, but the skill is there. The skating ability is still there. And it's the old narrative street argument is like, well, who else is there? Right. Like he's arguably their best forward now left playing because of Tuck and Tage being out. You know, I mean, Dylan Cousins is there. He's real good, a player that I've always liked. But the truth is Skinner's the veteran, Skinner's the leader, and Skinner's going to be a guy that's going to be on the ice a ton. I would be willing to bet that his ice time goes up by several minutes. And I don't know if that's a guy that I want to drop at this point. I mean give that's it a fair. Week. If he starts to produce, then hold on to him. And if he doesn't, the first, give it 2 games. And if he doesn't score, get on the board, or, get a bunch of shots or do something for your team, then maybe move on from him. But right now, I think on Skinner, I would hold.
Here's a few players that I think should be rostered that are hovering around 50% of Yahoo leagues. I mentioned Braden Shen and Robert Thomas. Those guys are both around 50%. And Thomas
has been
tonight.
Unreal.
Yeah, he has a team high 10 points over the last 2 weeks for the Blues and a 7-game point streak as he enters tonight. 11 points over that span, 6 of them apples. Lawson Crouse, which you brought up before in a bangers league. I mean, he's got 6 goals on the season. He's shooting. He's throwing his body around.
Touching all the categories.
Nichushkin may have been dropped after the slow start. Last night, he scored a couple goals. He's got goals. He's got 4 of them over his last 4 games, back up on that top line, of course.
Those are 2 EY players, right? Like Lawson Crouse and Valeri Nichushkin. Like those are my boys.
Those your boys. Yeah, your boys for a long, long time. Matt Duchene is still 53% rostered. I don't know why. I mean, he's got a 0.9 straight games, like 9 that he's finished. There's 1 game where he left early due to an injury, but in games where he's finished 9 in a row, he's hit the score sheet. Tolvanen, Byfield. Evan Rodriguez got bumped from line 1 to line 3, so maybe see what happens tonight against the Kings. Maybe he jumps back up, but they put Dylan Cousins between they put Cousins and Bennett and Tkachuk together, and they had Verhaeghe up on the top line with Barkov and Reinhart. Man, they were they got the Panthers going in the third period against the Sharks. So there's a couple players there, even deeper leagues. We mentioned Connor Zary, right? We mentioned him on the last episode, and he scored again. It's like 5 games here. 6 games. He's got 6 points and a couple goals. So there's some players that can help you out in deeper leagues. But maybe you stay the course for a game or 2 and see what happens, because I do agree, EY, the ice time for Skinner as much as he can handle over this next little bit. Morning fam, Adam Szymanski in the house. 27 problems. Yo, welcome in. What do we like for this early game? So maybe we can start there. And just touch on it quickly. Evan's in the house. So happy to have a 2 p.m. game on my day off and a late night Sharks game to close out my evening. Let's go. Although they've struggled, I've only missed a couple of Sharks games all season. Love me some
Hockey Psychos. Here we go.
Hockey Psycho, welcome in. I'm Atlantic time zone, so I'm an hour ahead of Eastern time zone. It's not made up. Trust me, it's a thing. So these Sharks games are not over till 3 a.m, but I don't care, because we're just piling up all kinds of wins, like Panthers in 60, Panthers puck line, Barkov assist, Verhaeghe goal, Reinhart goal, and we hit basically everything. All the big 4 hit their shot props. We had a 2-point night for Tkachuk at plus 170. He hit his shot prop. Barkov, Reinhart, Verhaeghe. The only guy that was disappointing was Sam Bennett, and he did score with about 5 minutes left, and they called it back, which I thought was a bogus offside. Anyways, late night action, early action, and late night action is gonna be a hell of a Thursday. Nothing on the prop side. Like Stützle here over 2.5 shots. You want to start there? Is there something you like from the Senators and Red Wings game, and then we'll move on from it?
Yeah, I mean, Senators. I like both these teams. I've got DeBrincat and Perron to score for Detroit, and I'm going to go with Tkachuk and Stützle. On the Ottawa side, this is, I mean, 2 teams. I mean, Detroit is still pretty scrappy. Ottawa is not where I think a lot of people, me included, thought they would be. They're just, I don't know, man. They're just not getting the goaltending. Korpisalo, we talked on Tuesday. I mean, a little bit of a resurgence, right? Like it looks like he's starting to get it sorted out. If they can get a couple saves and get healthy and get the at least the top 6 really rolling, this is a really good team. A guy to keep your eye on right now is Joseph for Ottawa. Is shooting the puck a ton, is playing on the second line and playing on the second power play. I mean, I don't have his ownership in front of me, but I would imagine in Yahoo leagues it's really low. Like it looks like the Senators really want him to be a thing, and he's playing really good hockey right now. Like he really jumps off the screen when you're watching Ottawa games. I'm going to go Ottawa wins this game here tonight, and this is going to be the start of Ottawa getting right and getting back in the win column.
Yeah, I would lean with them too. Both goalies, both teams have had some inexperience, just inconsistency, I'd say, between the pipes, right? Huso started off strong, but he's been pretty mediocre lately. I still like Josh Norris. I know he's been quiet over the past couple of games, but up on that quote-unquote top line with Tarasenko and Brady Tkachuk, and he's been pointless over his last 3, but he's minus 110 for a point. I like the Stützle call. It's just a lot of juice there. It's minus 145 over at FTNBets.com. Prop Shop's your friend. Save you a lot of cash and a lot of time. The best number I'm seeing is minus 145 for him to have 3 shots. It would lean with the over on the 2.5 there, 27 problems. But I like Norris for a point at plus 110. And I know Batherson has moved to the third line, but my goodness, he's got goals in back-to-back games. He's got 4 goals over his last 6 games. Only 7 points in the season, but a majority of them have come over the last couple of weeks, and he still gets pretty good power play time as well. So he's minus 115. If I'm calling goal scorers from this game, I'm going to go with Norris, and I'll go with the Brinkat. A little revenge. He's slowed down too. I actually see some people ask me what to do with the Brinkat, and I was just like, I didn't realize that he'd gone quiet a little bit. I just thought the start was so hot that owners would just be satisfied. They'd just be satisfied with what they had so far from Alex from the Brinkat. But I guess looking here now, I guess it's been a little bit of a slow start for him. Or I guess slow couple weeks. He scored in his last game. So he's got 2 points in his last, 8 games. But he's got 15 through 15. So I think he's fine, right? He's got the 40-goal upside there. I'm with you. I think Sens win. Hammerhead Union in the house. Vancouver over 3.5 total hits every time. We did talk a lot about the Canucks, maybe considering selling high on some players on the squad. I would keep Quinn Hughes and Elias Pettersson and also JT Miller, but I would consider selling high on Brock Besser from a fantasy hockey standpoint. He's the shooting percentage is high. He's had some issues staying healthy over the course of his career, but yeah, it is a free square. We definitely we hit a couple. I'm surprised that Elias Pettersson is minus 105, minus 110 for an assist every night. I really don't get it. Because he's right there with Quinn Hughes, and Quinn Hughes is minus 140 for an assist. So we hit a few props in that game last night. We also had Brock Nelson, Bo Horvat for shots and for goals. A nice little revenge spot there. Vancouver keeps rolling. Buy in now. Oh, yeah, we're in. I totally get it. I was just tongue in cheek with the Kraken that you traded them in. A new season. I agree. Yeah, Vancouver looks good. And Philip Hronek, that's another guy. He's just
what a grab.
A lot of people were ripping that trade. What are the Canucks doing? And I think he's leading the NHL in plus minus or close to it. And he's just picking up a point every single game. Ride it out.
I was confused by it because Vancouver was at that point was brutal, right? Adding a player that they had to pay for, which was bizarre. It literally looked like this team was getting ready to tear it all down, right? They were bad. And tip of the hat to Rick Tocchet, man. What a grab for coaching for them. This is a completely different team. Same personnel, right? The exact same personnel. And they might be right now the best team in the NHL.
Philip Hronek has an 11-game point streak.
Think about that. He's been a good player. I can remember owning him in fantasy on Detroit. Nobody knows who this guy is. His name is spelled weird. It's pronounced Hronek, but it's got an H, and you're just like, what the hell? I don't want that guy on my team. I don't want that. But
I think they're punching above their weight personally a little bit. Some of their 5-5 numbers, they give up a lot of quality chances. And
they're not going to be this good for the whole year. But you're just off to such a start. And look, and in today's NHL with the 3-point system, if you can get, if you have a playoff spot by next week, you're good.
Yeah. Oh, they're on their way. I know it is. They've had such a good start that they would have to have a massive collapse to not make the playoffs, and they're strong in goal. As long as Thatcher Demko can stay healthy, because that's been part of the Canucks issue over the past couple of years as well. Him staying healthy. Casey DeSmith has had some moments, but let's be honest. They need a healthy Thatcher Demko to give them 55 games this season. But yeah, Canucks are playing really good. ride this thing out. And they're playing to a lot of overs. I like the over in this game too. Yeah, if I was to lean with just the goaltending that's happening on both sides, and I like to call Evan for an over here. Maybe we get a 5-3 victory or 5-4 victory or something like that. Daily Handle, good morning. Welcome in. Troy, meaning EY, when you come for the Islanders game, we will be able to sit against the glass for chump change. This team has dump and chase syndrome, and they're truly abysmal. They started off strong. I liked them in the first period last night. I thought Vancouver would be a little sluggish after the East Coast trip and then back home, and then they gave it up. Yeah, they just... as Nick Alberga said this morning on the NHL Fantasy on Ice podcast, the Lou is stuck in the 80s. It's a slow team, and there's not a lot really to like outside of Bo and Brock. Rough go. Don't need an early game play if nothing is good to bet. Discipline. The Blues have found their game. Yes, they have, and also the Lightning stink. They're awful. They are bad. They are bad. And Jonas Johansson has the worst goals saved above expected average, according to Natural Stat Trick in the NHL. He's
we all thought it would be rough, but not like this.
Yeah, not like this. They need Vasilevsky back in a hurry, and not just that. They need Vasilevsky to be like
dominant,
because they're giving up a lot of quality chances at 5-5. They got the Blackhawks tonight. I mean, they got spanked by them the other day, did they not? Connor, I'm not happy here. Garland, just stick around, dude. Canucks are winning games. Stick around. Sup, guys? Any goal scorers for we got this one. I think Emmerich, you just joined, and we just touched on a couple goal scorers there in the game. Who would you rather have? Anthony Cirillo in the house. Who would you rather have right now? This one is Anthony. I don't know how well you know Eric, but he's going to say Kyle Connor, and I'm going to agree with him. Kyle Connor over Brock Besser at this moment for sure, right? He's got a pedigree.
I mean, Besser has been great. I own Besser in a lot of places. I get his shooting percentages high, but this is who he is, and it's going to go up and down. But he's a shooter. That's Vancouver wants the puck coming off of his stick on power plays and when he's on the ice. So that's the guy that I want in my lineup if I'm looking for goals. But yeah, Kyle Connor, no doubt. He's one of my favorite players in the NHL.
Richard in the house, good morning. Okay, we're going to get after it. Seems like a lot of people are here in the chat. We're looking for some picks. I like the fantasy hockey questions, and maybe we'll go here with the Hurricanes. Jay Felicio's in the house as well. Does some great stuff for us at FTN. Joined Jake Seeley and myself last Saturday on the Sirius XM show. Are my Canes going to turn it around? Do you have any issues with the Carolina Hurricanes right now at the moment? They are 9-7, 16 games in, 18 points. So, if this is bad Canes hockey, 500, not too shabby, right? They're just tied for second in the Metro. Do you see the Hurricanes turning around and being much better? Do you have any concerns about them?
I mean, the concerns are always the same. And last year, I think they stuck it to me a little bit by making it farther in the playoffs than I thought they would. But the truth is who's going to score goals, right? They've had this problem forever. And I get like Aho is a good player and Svechnikov is a good player, but they don't have that one guy that's just going to kind of carry the puck in and rip it and get an easy goal. This team has got to work for everything. It's the part of their identity. I understand that. That's what Rob Brindamore wants. But playing that style of hockey, I've said this, I've had a couple other really smart people kind of agree with me and back it up with statistics. Like the amount of distance this team travels, the amount of work that they put in to be at 500 is tough. And it's a really hard way to play hockey for 82 games and then try to carry that over when the hockey gets even faster and even harder in the playoffs. And it often just looks like they hit a wall. And I'm not saying that they're hitting a wall like they're pro athletes and they're much better at hockey than me, but I think the proof is in the pudding. This has been a very good competitive regular season team for 5, 6, maybe 7 years now. And then they get into the playoffs and get let down. I mean, sounds funny coming from a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, but the truth is it's the same results every time. Is they try to play that result where they don't play enough with the puck. Rob Brindamore wants them chipping the puck in and chasing it, and it's a really hard way to play in the NHL now when everyone can skate.
I think they'll be fine. My issues with them is
so do I. And I think they'll make the playoffs, and I think they'll be out in the first and second round again. And that's just what's going to happen until they change the way they play.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Svechnikov to get going. I view him as a buy low candidate in fantasy hockey. Maybe Aho.
This is who he is,
well.
right?
Yeah.
Like, there's nights where it looks like he's one of the best offensive players on the ice, and then other nights where he's completely invisible. It's just the player that he is.
Yeah, I'm not sold on their goaltending, and I'd like to see them do something at the deadline to get more offense on their squad. Some more offense on their squad. They're taking a lot of penalties, which is uncharacteristic, and the penalty kill is usually one of the best. I think that'll turn around if they can be more disciplined and the special teams turns around. They'll be fine. You know they'll be fine, Jay. They're going to make the playoffs, and they'll probably host a game 1 in their barn, and they're going to wear some Whalers jerseys soon too, so that'll be fun for you. Let's get after tonight. The Montreal Canadiens and the Vegas Golden Knights here. We got the Habs at home. Nick Suzuki against the team that drafted him. And Montreal's played Vegas pretty tight for a while. I thought that they deserved better earlier in the season. They went into Vegas, and I think they lost in a shootout. I talked about the game that I was in Vegas for Halloween when these two teams played. Everybody was masked up, and it was just an absolutely electric atmosphere. It was fantastic. We got Montreal tonight at plus 170, Vegas at minus 190. They did lose to the Capitals, who, by the way, are playing really good hockey at the moment as well. Washington 7-2-1 in their last 10 games. But the Habs are hanging around 500. They only have 2 wins in regulation, so a lot of their wins have come in overtime, basically thanks to Cole Caulfield. As for the Golden Knights, 12-3-1 through 16 games, 25 points, has them tied for first in the Metro, or in the Pacific, rather. I'll let you take it away. I think we'll see Jonathan Marchessault tonight. His shot prop is come down a touch to 2.5. It is juiced, but maybe we can put that into a parlay. I think Marchessault scores a goal tonight. The biggest thing with Montreal that I've been saying all year is that they're just undisciplined. They take too many penalties. They're among the leaders last year in penalties taken. The Ducks passed them, I think, last night in penalties taken, but Vegas is going to get a couple power plays here tonight. So I think like a Shea Theodore assist, Alex Pietrangelo for over 2.5 shots, a Jack Eichel assist, and I would go with Jonathan Marchessault to score a goal here tonight. That's what I'm liking. I think the Golden Knights win the game.
Yeah, I got Eichel and Marchessault to score for Vegas, and on the Montreal side, I'm going Caulfield and Suzuki. I know I get other people are pitching in, but like Caulfield is, man, he's just so fun to watch. The NHL is a better place with Montreal Canadiens. I mean, and the also again, I mean, proof is in the pudding. Is like that's what Marty St. Louis wants. That's what the Montreal Canadiens wants. If someone's shooting the puck, they design it. And they want it to be Caulfield. It's not always Caulfield, right? I mean, other guys are going to shoot and other guys are good players. But if they get their way, the puck is coming off the stick of Cole Caulfield because dude can rip it. What a player. Him and Suzuki, I mean, Montreal they're set up for quite a while. They're going to be a good team. I think you're going to blink and the Montreal Canadiens are going to be a really good team again.
Well, I really like the defense, the prospects that they have on the blue line, right? Caden Gooley looks like a baller. Lane Hudson is going to be fantastic. Ryan Backer is going to be a good defenseman, whether you believe in the pick or not. He's going to be a good defenseman for them. It's just like they need some offense apart from Suzuki and Caulfield, and St. Louis split them up a little bit. I like Eichel for a 2-point night, actually, at plus 180. I'm going to take a stab on that. Shea Theodore is minus 125. For a point, and even just the assist on Eichel is some pretty good value here at minus 105 for Jack. It's all about the power play, right? That's what I mean. Like, Canadians are playing pretty good at 5-5, but if you're going to give Vegas 4 or 5 power plays, these guys are going to hook up. So Marchessault a goal, Eichel assist, 2-point night, Shea Theodore in there. There's like 20 comments here. I'll try to skip through, try to get something here. Try to keep up. It's basically what I'm going to do here. Try to keep nail in the head, EY. Nail in the head. Morning, boys. I hired MMA podcast. Sick as a dog out here, but here for DBC. Rest up, brother. Rest up. We wish you all the best. We appreciate the support. Sick as a dog and still hanging out. Jersey and the boys roll tonight, Clint. Roll tonight. Feel better. You guys going to have a side bet here on the go? Clint and Troy, Yotes versus Columbus. Let's go. Blue Jackets played good, man. They almost had it, but Sidney Crosby,
Yeah.
he took off, right? I say Columbus will win every week, but I feel like it's finally going to happen. This may be the one, although we definitely like the Coyotes on the show. Matty Best in the house to join right in time for the Habs games. Meaney will pick the Habs. I never pick the Habs. You know this.
That's true.
This. I never pick the Habs.
But Vegas is winning that game.
But they do play Vegas pretty good, man. They play the playoff series. A lot of games have been highly entertaining in overtime. Here's a call from Matty Best. Suzuki over 2.5 has been plus money all month. Absolutely. He's hitting 4 of the 7 games this month. Have to keep hitting because of the value, right, fellas? I do agree with this. And I think part of the reason he's shooting more is because he's away from Cole Caulfield, right? Because he always falls into this trap, I find, of passing it off. But I talked about the power play from the Canadians the last show, and Suzuki he comes out of the pitcher, out of the opposing blue line, and then he comes into the side, and it's Matheson over to Suzuki, and people are just taking away the Caulfield shot. Like, if you're the defense, you say, go ahead, Suzuki. You want that shot? We're going to take away that cross pass to Caulfield. But yeah, you're right. I mean, he's a guy that passes it more than he shoots. But I like the plus money call there, and it's a good stat for sure. And Hammerhead agrees. Yes, Matheson. Nobody. I just felt like a homer talking him up. Nobody even drafted him. He's still like 20% 2 weeks into the season. But Matheson he's a beauty. He's fantastic. Okay, we'll move on. According to reports, Jack Hughes is expected back on Saturday. He's not officially ruled out of tonight's action as we move over to Pittsburgh and New Jersey. So look for him. It's EY. It's amazing that Jack Hughes hasn't played here in a couple of weeks, right? He's been sidelined for a little bit. But he's still just 6 points from Elias Pettersson for leading the NHL in points. That's how strong of a start Jack Hughes had of the season. He had 20 points through his first 10 games. And he's been not bad. And he's been sidelined here since November 3rd, 2 weeks. And he's just 6 points back of the lead. But as we said on Tuesday, this Devils team is just not the same. And I know we're not breaking any news, but you're missing your top 2 centers in Jack Hughes and Nico Hischier. You got some issues, and they've been outplayed over the past couple of weeks. And again, it's going to happen, right? When you're without these 2 guys. Hischier's now on IR. So officially not ruled out yet, but I don't think he's going to suit up. And I like the Penguins here tonight. I like Pittsburgh. Jake Gensel and Sidney Crosby are just feeling it at the moment. And it's just another great game from Sid. So I'm not going to overthink this one too much. I put it in the bet tracker last night, and we're getting minus 132 over at FanDuel for New Jersey or for Pittsburgh to win on home ice. So that's where I'm at. I know you got a couple goal scorers there.
For New Jersey, Pittsburgh, I'm going to Foley and Timo Meier. We talked about it a bit on Tuesday. Meier's starting to pick his game up a little bit. I don't know if he's the player that I envisioned he'd be in New Jersey or anyone, especially the New Jersey Devils. But hopefully he keeps rolling here. I think he's been playing pretty well. And then Pittsburgh, I can't go away from Crosby. He looks like a man possessed right now. And Malkin is also playing really well. And I like that they keep them separate. That's an easy 1-2 bet for the goal scorers of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin.
I've been riding Dawson Mercer a little bit just because of the usage, right? Where he talked about him the other day. You see the ice time, the boost, right? 15, 17, and now 18 plus in 3 straight games. He's got goals in 3 of his last 4. The shot prop is now moved. We had some fun on Tuesday. It was minus 130 for 2 shots. It's juiced considerably here, so I think we got to stay away from it. There's no books that's offering 2.5. I don't see. So minus 182 for 2 shots is not ideal, but I like the point. Minus 105 over at DraftKings for Dawson Mercer to pick up a point. Points in 3 of his last 4. You mentioned Crosby. I'm going to go via the assist, but I think the goal is not a bad call, Eric, considering the way he's playing. But he's minus 105 for an assist tonight. I think is also a pretty good value for Sid the Kid. We'll call him, even though he's pushing 40. I'm just so proud of him. as an East Coast guy, as a Nova Scotia guy, and a guy that I can toot my own horn here a little bit. I took faceoffs against Sidney Crosby when I was a child. I saw the hype around him. He had his own stick as a 9-year-old. He had a Sidney Crosby Sherwood stick. I had a Paul Coffey Sherwood stick. And this guy is just, man, he's got points in basically every game this season. Just one game. He hasn't picked up a point.
You can't not put him on the hockey Mount Rushmore. You can't not. I mean, he's been dominant. Can you imagine if he didn't get those injuries, right? I mean, I guess you could say that with most players. Like, what if Bobby Orr actually has 2 full knees and, plays 10 more seasons and blah, 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 blah. But Sidney Crosby, by any way you want to measure a hockey player, statistical, leadership, winning, I mean, he's won everything. I mean, literally everything that there is for a hockey player to win, he's done it. And can you imagine the amount of pressure that he's felt since he was 9? He's got his own stick, like the weight of the world, and just at every level and at every turn and every situation, this guy wins. And man, we're just so lucky. This is a player that people are going to be talking about in 50 years.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm going to be living in my RV somewhere in Vermont in the summer and sitting around a campfire talking about how lucky I was that I was able to watch his entire career. And he's just a gift to hockey, a gift to the Pittsburgh Penguins. That team may not even exist if they don't get him, right? Like
they got him at the right time. They got Lemieux at the right time too.
Yep. Yeah, they sure
who
did.
Else,
but yeah,
who are they going to get when Crosby leaves? They'll get somebody else. But yeah, he's got a 9-game point streak here. He's got 7 assists over that span. He's got assists in 3 straight games, and he's actually picked up assists in 6 of his last 7 games. So the fact that we're getting minus 105 here for an assist tonight is something that I'm certainly all about. Let's continue. We'll where do you want to go next? I'll let you pick. What do you got circled on your sheet? A game that you like here?
I mean, let's do Tampa and Chicago, and it's pretty interesting, right? We said Tampa Bay is bad. Can't get a save. Can't stop people from shooting the puck from high danger areas. It's just, it doesn't. I get, we talked about it before going into the year, like they're not going to be a dominant team without good goaltending, which they do not have. I mean, you can talk about Johansson and these other players and this, that, and the other. Neither one of their goalies is a starting NHL player. At this point, I'm not even willing to bet that they feel positive having him as the backup. It's hockey, right? It's show me a good team, I'll show you a good goalie. And they do not have a good goalie. And what makes it worse is it seems really odd that they haven't adjusted it. They're not playing buttoned up hockey. They're not playing structural sound hockey. They're letting people just fire the puck from the areas that they want to fire it from. It doesn't seem like a Tampa Bay Lightning team. It doesn't seem like a Cooper coach team. They're in trouble, man, and they're in real trouble.
They're old, man. They're old, and they've lost all their depth. Like every year,
played a ton of hockey, right? Like, yeah. I mean, it's just the truth.
It doesn't seem like, well, you lose Palat, oh, not a big deal. You lose Killorn, not a big deal. But like, it's somebody every single year that's taken from the depth pieces of their squad. And I mean, when I'm sitting here looking at the 5-5 numbers, it is odd to see that they've allowed the 5th most shots at 5-5 per 60. Their goals against at 5-5. We know that San Jose, how bad the Sharks are, and they're at the top at 3.62. But Tampa's next at 3.45. I get it.
It's insane.
That's going to help. But we said it earlier. He's got to be peak Vasilevsky to turn this thing around for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You going back to Bedard?
I'm definitely going to Bedard. Bedard is my lock of the night.
Oh,
dude,
baby.
It sucks. Chicago should be bad for another 5 years and should be punished. And we don't have to get it. We don't have to get into that. Everyone knows that I'm right. They know that I'm right. The NHL knows that I'm right. It is complete bullshit that they have this player. But this is the world we're living in. Connor Bedard he can't be punished for, things that they've done. And dude, what a player, man. Just another guy. I mean, how long have we been talking about Connor Bedard? Like, since he was a child, I've known about this kid, right?
And he still is actually a child.
He's still a child, and
he's get a drink in Montreal, but
dude, he's so good. I got him, and I got Lauren Reichel. He's playing really good hockey for them right now, centering the second line and centering the top power play. So if someone else is going to score, Bedard's going to pull all the attention. I don't think Hall's going to play. I think he's out again. Man, he's been a pretty important player for them. But I think Chicago wins tonight at home. I'm going to go Kucherov and Stamkos on the other side, but I don't trust the Tampa Bay Lightning at all. I don't want Chicago to win anything. I want them to lose every hockey game and Connor Bedard to score 65 goals. But here we are, and we're going to blink, and the Chicago Blackhawks are going to be a very good hockey team again.
Yeah, he's got 8 goals over his last 4 games, back-to-back games. He's had 2 goals. He's minus 145 for a point tonight. I'm seeing plus 160, the best odds for him to score. I've stayed away from his shot prop for quite some time. Like he was quiet there for a little bit, but the fact that he's got at least 4 shots in 3 straight games, and he just had a game against Tampa where he put 5 pucks on net. And we just talked about the Lightning and their struggles at 5-5 at the moment. I have a hard time avoiding the over 3.5 shots at plus 100 over at DraftKings, but I definitely like the point here tonight. And I mean, it's hard to shy away from Kucherov, like even though it is the Blackhawks and
he's been good all year.
Yeah, he's been good all year. And the plus, man, wow, things have really changed for Kucherov. Maybe I'll just stay away. He's plus 170 for 2 assists, which is wild. But he's minus 130 for 2 points too. I'll stay away, and his shot prop is too juice as well. I'd say Braden Point and Kucherov hook up for a goal or 2 tonight, but I'm just going to play Bedard Point and Bedard over 3.5 shots. The Lightning, I don't know, man. Like, I don't have a ton of confidence. We didn't bring up the odds for this game. Chicago's plus 164 at home and Tampa's minus 180. I just don't have any confidence in laying that kind of juice for the Tampa Bay Lightning to win the hockey game. So I'm gonna just move on. This is what all the people are here for. Arizona and Columbus. It looks like Troy, Clint, Troy's reaching out to you. Offer you the same bet as Meaney and EY. Yotes win, I'll buy you a ticket to an Islanders game when you're in New York. Columbus wins, I get to make a guest appearance on the show. Deal or no deal? I think you got to take that one. Clint. So we got Arizona at Columbus. Basically a pick 'em. Slight dogs here at home, plus 105 for the Blue Jackets and minus 120 for Arizona. And then we have a total of 6.5. The over at minus 120, best I'm seeing over at Unibet. So we have Arizona here, who's just been basically a 500 squad so far to start the season, 7-6-2. And then we have the Blue Jackets, who have not been a 500 squad, 4-8-4. Without those 4 overtime losses, maybe they are, but they've lost 6 in a row. They have a negative 14 goal differential, which would be the third worst mark in the NHL if the Sharks weren't there at minus 51. I got Laine on the board because I just shooting a ton, right, is the guy that I like. If I'm calling a goal scorer from this game, it would be Patrick Laine and then Clayton Keller on the other side. I'm still waiting for Hayton, man. I don't know. Like he did score a couple games ago. He's got points in 3 of his last 4 so maybe this is a time where he could potentially break out. He's minus 110 for a point. I don't mind that one. That's one that I can get behind. I know you like Lawson Krause. You're wearing Coyotes gear over there. So what you got?
I do have Krause on my list to score. He's plus 270, playing great. So I'm going back to him. And of course, Clayton Keller. I mean, plus 145. I mean, he scores every time they play. Right. Like, I mean, it's crazy. Plus 145, sign me up. And with the Columbus, I'm going to go Marashenko. I think Troy called him the flow king. I like that. Really good offensive player, big dude, can skate, can shoot, and his a little bit slightly older and not nice as hair, but Patrick Laine is a weird looking cat, man.
Look at the flow he's got. He's got some hair.
That's old. I don't think he has that much anymore.
No.
Yeah, shave it off, bud. It's over.
He looks like a 70 or 80-year-old man. I don't know. 3.5 shots. I had my eye in it too, Adam. He's in the 3 games since his return. He's racked up 11 shots, 4, 3, and 4. And the ice time, 21 minutes the other night he played against the Penguins. I noticed he was getting double shifted. You're getting plus 130 for him to have 4 shots tonight, which isn't too bad. So that's the way that it would go here. And I like Hayton, as I said. Hayton for a point at minus 105. I believe that one's over at BetMGM. I don't know, Daily Handle, if I'm going to get a Kraken jersey. Maybe I will at some point. I really like the anchor.
I got two.
So I'll have to get one with an anchor here. And maybe I'll have to get your boy Tolvanen. I don't know. He's just been so good to me. I play him in DFS. Like, he's super cheap. Tolvanen. I'm a big Matty Beniers guy. Slow start. We like Jared McCann. Vince Dunn. Actually, I'd have to get Vince Dunn. He's probably one of my faves there, but it's not high on my list.
Count them, 2.
Yanni Gourde. You get 2 Yanni Gourde. You are a true psycho, man. Are you kidding me? 2 Yanni Gourde, one home and away.
I may have to get a Tolvanen one. I have a Preds Tolvanen and another one that didn't last very long, but she's in the collection.
Yeah. John Marquez.
Right beside my Colin Wilson and Alexander Radulov jersey.
Oh my goodness. I got a Radulov Radulov Habs t-shirt. I rocked it in Nashville when Montreal played there one time, and I had a couple chirps, right?
Yeah,
a couple chirps from the fans. That's what I was there for. Line got a sneaky hair transplant. That's why he's bald now. Okay, all right. EY's a bigger Kraken fan than you means. Come on, yeah. I'm a one-team NHL guy. That's it. I like one team. It's Montreal. I have these couple side teams.
And I like them all.
I had a soft spot for like the Avs when I grew up because Patrick Waugh and the Kraken into the league. I like Vegas. Yeah, I like Zona this year. I have some fun with some of these squads. Let's get this one out of the way. There's some stuff here that I like. And this one, St. Louis and San Jose. SJ Sharkey. I'm just not breaking any news. Just going to continue to pick on this team. That's it. That's what it's all about for me. I put in 2 units for the Blues to win in 60 at minus 105. I got the Blues to win on the puck line, 1.5 units at plus 150. You're giving me a Blues team that's feeling it at the moment, scoring some goals, playing some good hockey, getting some good goaltending. You are giving me plus 150. I'm going to take that every day, all day. It's now plus 130 for them to win on the puck line and for them to win in regulation. I would imagine it's still pretty solid. What do we got? In 60. Give me a second. This is from DraftKings. Minus 115. Wow. I think that the Blues win the game like 5-2. I know that the past couple of games, Blackwood's kept them in. It wasn't until the 3rd period Florida broke away. The Oilers weren't able to win, but this is still a team that is allowing 70 shot attempts per 60 minutes at 5-5. 70. Number 1 in high danger chances allowed, scoring chances. Number 1 in goals allowed at 5-5 per 60 is all of it. So I know you got a couple things over there. I'll let you take it away because I have a couple of props as well that I like from this game.
St. Louis, I've got Kyrou and Thomas. Look, man, Thomas is playing unreal hockey. And if you're in a season-long fantasy league, like, go out there. He's not owned enough. And I don't know why, but he's probably available in your league if you're hearing my voice right now.
52% Yahoo ownership.
He should be over 80%. He's the number 1 center for this team. And he's playing really, really well and has been from the start of the year. San Jose side, I'm going Hurdle and I'm going Eklund. Eklund has looked really good for them. Playing on the top line, playing on the top power play. You can see it starting to happen. Like, a lot of these younger players are playing up the lineup now. Like, they're not trying to win. They're trying to get ready to win in the future. And by letting Zetterlund play and Eklund play, above guys like LeBlanc and other guys that aren't going to be around in 2 or 3 years, might not be around next year, is right. Smart by this team, by the GM and the coach. Quick update on my EA Sports San Jose Sharks season. It's not going well, but I was able to make some good trades at the deadline. I got Lawson Krause and picked up some other good young players going into next year. So It's I'm a true lunatic, and it's fun for me. They're the worst team, right? Like they have no good players, and the graphics.
So this is a dynasty. This is a dynasty franchise
where you just play and play and play, and you play.
Yeah.
I don't play every game, but I play. I try to play 2 games at least each week, and then you do all the GM stuff in the off season, and trade.
Are you rolling with Blackwood between the pipes? Is he keeping you in games?
No, Kakin's got a higher thing, but I usually been going back and forth with both of them.
Man, you're a true psycho. What's the record? Yeah. What's the Sharks record? What are you at? 500? I mean, it's a bad team.
It's a bad team, and I don't play on All-Star, but I play on All-Pro, which is a very tough. It's like one down from the hardest because I want it to be difficult, and it is.
Yeah, it is. It is. I like it. I dig it. So I got a couple things here. Robert Thomas for an assist at -110, 10 points, a team high 10 points for the Blues over the last 2 weeks. He's got a 7-game point streak here. He's got 11 points and 6 assists over that span. I also have Braden Shen in the tracker for a point. This one's a little bit juiced at -140, but I think he hits the score sheet. If you want to stay away from the juice, maybe the assist is something for you at +130, I think is pretty solid. What I've noticed here, and it's Buchnevich and Thomas are clicking, and Shen and Kyrou are clicking. These guys are all very, very easy to fit into your DraftKings lineup tonight. Of course, they're going to come with a lot of ownership, but you got to get different elsewhere. I have a lean to the Kyrou and Shen connection, maybe with Krug, whose price dropped on DraftKings. So like those 3, but I have no issues if you wanted to stack like a Thomas and Buchnevich with Kyrou and Shen, and then maybe get a Falk or get a Krug in your life. Falk touches a lot of categories, blocks a lot of shots, but the Sharks are not getting a lot of shots. So he may not block a lot there for you, but we always reference Bet365. So, for example, you could go Buchnevich and Robert Thomas for a point, just them 2. That's +115. You can go to Shen and Vrana for a point. This one's +2. Or sorry, Vrana. It's not a bad long shot, actually, to score a goal. Like him and Kevin Hayes may be difference makers tonight. But you can go Shen and Kyrou for a point. That's +130. You could go Buchnevich. You just take the big 4. I'll call them the big 4 tonight. Robert Thomas, Shen, Kyrou, and Buchnevich all for a point at +320. And I got Jordan Kyrou for over 3.5 shots at plus money as well. I mean, he's the shooter on the power play and on the squad. So they're going to get a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of plays here that you can get from this game. We'll move on from it, but it should be a fun one. Vancouver and Calgary here. So we had the Canucks last night on the back-to-back slow start for them, came back and won the game. A scary moment for Kuzmenko, who took a shot at the collarbone, near his collarbone. I haven't seen the latest on him, but I don't think he suits up tonight. We're getting plus money here on the Vancouver Canucks, and like Hammerhead said, I think you ride this squad at the moment. I get it. It's the second half of the back-to-back, but the Flames, I don't care who they're playing, they shouldn't be -145, which this line has moved quite a bit. It looks like maybe some money coming in on the Flames. So I'm seeing -137 and Vancouver at +125 over at Bet365 here. You think the Canucks continue to roll, or do you think that the Flames here can find a way to win? Because what I will say for the Flames, what I always say after that road trip, they went out east, Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, come back home to play a Canucks team that's cooking, playing pretty good hockey. They could be a little flat. Plus, at the end of the day, it's the Flames. I'm not impressed with them at all. I'm on the Canucks.
Me neither. Yeah, I'm not going against Vancouver here. I got Pettersson and Miller to score. Miller is somehow on FanDuel is +220 to score. I mean, has been great. I mean, just has been great. Pettersson's been great too. Those are the 2 guys to score. And on the Flame side, Kadri looked good. He looked super motivated, looked like Nazem Kadri. So I'm going to go with him at +220 and Mangiapane at +240. I hope that Mangiapane gets traded to a team that lets him play and be the offensive player that I think he can be. He's a really good player.
He is a good player. I think that we'll see we're going to have to see some movement in Calgary and the Flames. Maybe Lindholm's traded or something. I don't know. But I like goals. I like goals in this game. D. Smith, we'll get to the Kings and Panthers here next, dude. I saw you write that message earlier. My apologies. We'll get to that one right away. That should be a fun one here. Elias Pettersson, I'm just keep riding this thing for the assist, right? I mean, we were doing it with Quinn Hughes for a bit, and then Books just adjusted, but they haven't adjusted at all when it comes to Elias Pettersson, who's just an assist machine. So minus 105 for him tonight for the Apple. I love this call, Myron. Zari, maybe we just ride this thing out here a little bit. I like goals. I lean to the over. And I also like this call here, 5-2. I lean to the over. Canucks are playing to a lot of overs. They're scoring at the moment. I think they'll regress at some point, just a little bit of regression in their game. But at the moment, let's just ride this thing out for now. And the goaltending has just been pretty mediocre for the Flames for a couple of years now. I'm not impressed that they beat the Canadiens 2-1. I thought Montreal had a lot of chances in that game to win that hockey game. But Zari for a point at plus 120, I think that's pretty good. Still like him in DFS. He's next to Kadri. You're right about Kadri. Kadri scored again the other night. He's been the most consistent Flame here offensively, but Zari's got 6 points through 6 games. 3 of them are goals. He's getting some power play opportunities. He's not shooting a ton. He had 6 shots in this first game, but that was really it there. Yeah, keep riding. Adam agrees that we're going to dive into the Kyrou, Shannon Thomas, Booch point parlays over at Bet365. I'm going to get nuts. I'm going to include
here we go.
Maybe, yeah, I'm going to have a ridiculous 40-1 inside the bet chart. We almost had a 50-1 the other night if Bennett could get a darn point. Clint has accepted the side bet. Let's go Jackets. He is in. Clint, we're all going to have a great time in New York to watch the Islanders on Troy here. Let's get to the Kings and the Panthers. This one should be fun. A lot of fun here tonight. Florida, 7+ goals in 6 straight games. I'm talking totals. There's been 7+ goals in Florida's last 6 hockey games. I like the over. I like offense. LA can score. That top line has been absolutely electric. I'm talking about Anze Kopitar, Adrian Kempe, and Quentin Byfield. And even though Talbot's been great, and he has been great, this Kings team at home has just been okay. Like, a lot of their wins have come on the road. They lost to Pitt. Look, for this season, they started off at home, 5-2 loss. Then 6-5 loss. Then they went on the road, won 2 games. They returned home, lost 4-2 to the Bruins. They beat Arizona 6-3. Then they went on the road for a ton of games, won a majority of those games, actually all of them. But basically at home this season, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 losses. They have 1 win on home ice and a lot of overs here, like 6 goals, 7 goals, 6 goals, 11 goals, 7 goals. So I don't know, a different team at home, and the Panthers, we know that they can score as well. Still waiting on word on Brendan Montour. Definitely sounds like this week he'll return to the lineup. I got a couple props, but I know you got some goal scorers, so I'll let you go first.
Yeah, always, buddy. Florida and LA, this should be a really good game. Pretty pumped to watch this one. I got Reinhart at plus 170 and Matthew Tkachuk at plus 175. On the LA side, I'm going Kempe and George's boy, PLD.
Oh,
Pierre
baby. Put that one up there. Pierre-Luc Dubois and George's parlay. Good stuff there. I like a couple things written down here. I got Barkov for an assist. He's plus 110 for an assist. He's got 10 on the season, and 9 out of the last 13 games he's picked up an assist. So I like Barkov for an assist. I'm going back to Carter Verhaeghe. I think Verhaeghe scores a goal here tonight. That would be my shot prop guy as well. It's a little bit juiced, 2.5. I'm thinking about a parlay with Jonathan Marchessault at 2.5 and then Carter Verhaeghe at 2.5. These shot props are just a little juiced, man. I think there's more value in finding guys to pick up assists and pick up points in what could be high octane offensive games. And then on the other side, I got Kopitar for an assist. He's got 7 assists on the season, 14 points in 14 games. He's got points in 11 of his 14. He's minus 140 for a point, which I think will happen. Like, there's a little bit of juice to drink on the Shen point, Kopitar point. But he's plus 140 for an assist tonight. So Kempe's the shooter. Kempe scores, Kopitar assist. Verhaeghe scores, Barkov assist. That's kind of where I'm going tonight. I like goals. I think the over will hit in this game, and I have a lean to the Kings winning the hockey game. Where are you at?
I'm going to go LA at home here. They've been just a juggernaut. They're just oh, here we go. I wouldn't bet on that. That's for certain. I wouldn't bet on Talbot to get a shutout against any team, especially Florida. They're rolling right now.
He's been great.
Man, this game's going to be awesome. But I think LA wins it at home. They're just so deep down the middle. It makes it tough.
I like the call, Hammerhead. I like the call. Wait, I like the boldness of the call, but I'm not. If there's a shutout tonight, to break my heart because I'm going to dive into a couple Florida guys here tonight. Verhaeghe at over 2.5, mispriced. Bet Rivers minus 143. Oh yeah, wow. I thought I saw minus 150. That's great. I like that one. Definitely mispriced. I like the fact that he's up with Barkov again. Yeah, minus 143 at Unibet and Bet Rivers, minus 185 at BetMGM. So quite a difference there. He's also minus 125 for a point. Oh, that's real nice. Carter Verhaeghe minus 125 for a point tonight. Let's go. 5-0 Kings. At least give us 7-0 so we can get the over there. Okay. Have we done it? Did we hit on them all? Islanders and Kraken. Ugh, that's the last one. Kraken and the Islanders. Both teams played last night. Both teams blew it. Seattle had the lead, gave it up late. Kane. Man, that Kane, Draisaitl, and Hyman lines and 2 good games under new coaching staff there in Edmonton. I like Brock Nelson. Again, I just keep going to Brock Nelson as a shooter. He's got 1 game recently with 10. He's had another game with 8. He's been
so consistent.
A goal.
Right.
He has
for
been
5 years. He's just
really consistent.
Doesn't matter what the Islanders are or how they're coached or how they play. Brock Nelson, he just performs, and he's been a really good player for a long time. FanDuel's got him at plus 200 to score, so I love that. And I got Matty Barzal as well. I know scoring, shooting the puck is not his thing, but he has been doing it more since he started playing on the wing. So I like Barzal at plus 240. Seattle side, I got McCann, and Jaden Schwartz has been playing really well for them all year. Really underrated player. Really, really good player too.
Yeah, I didn't look at a lot, so just bear with me here. Try to find a couple things. McCann's pretty decent here at minus 125. I know he's been inconsistent, but this Islanders team gives up a lot. They both played last night, but this Islanders team does give up a lot at 5-5. I'd go with McCann. We can't ignore this Tolvanen line, right? What do we got here?
I'm not ignoring him. I got a Tolvanen jersey in my closet.
Preds, right? I'm assuming
every time he scores, I'm happy, and I cuss the Predators
sad at the same time,
waving him and giving him up for nothing. It's madness.
What do we think about? It's the 7 and outlier. He's plus 130 for 3 shots tonight. He has, let's see, since October 28th, 4 shots, 4-3, 1-4. He's cleared in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of 6, 7, 8, 9. So just kind of like 50-50. It's tough, but he's plus money for a point. I think we got to ride this out, man. I really do think that this line, to me, the Bjorkstrand line, Yanni Gourde doesn't do too much. He doesn't get the power play time with those guys. But Bjorkstrand and Tolvanen, I can't ignore what I'm seeing from them. And for Tolvanen, he's got points in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of his last 9 games. Got 3 goals over that span. Like I said, the 7 shots last night. So he's plus 105 for a point. The shot prop is maybe we bypass that one. I like McCann a little bit, but plus 130 is not a bad long shot for him. And then there's Bjorkstrand. These guys correlate. It's another good 3-6-5 thing. If you do Tolvanen and Bjorkstrand, you're going to get nearly 2-1 for those guys. Bjorkstrand's minus 105 to pick up a point, and he's plus 105 for 3 shots. I would lean with him. There's a little bit more consistency, I think, in his game when it comes to shooting, but both of those guys are definitely on my radar. And then Brock Nelson's minus 118 for 3 shots tonight. So I didn't think that I would really like this game. I got to lean to the under. But Brock Nelson, 310. Yeah, he's been shooting quite a bit. He's up to 7 goals. Yeah, he is underrated, man.
Yep.
Stay away from Florida 5-0. Ah, man. I have a hard time just buying into that because the Kings been so brutal at home, and the Panthers they can score pretty good. Tanev assists. Would have got Myron in the house. DraftKings are afraid there's no Kruger or Pareko props. Yeah, they may be a little afraid of what could happen tonight to their books. I'm seeing a power play point at plus 475 for Krug, which isn't too bad considering the Sharks will take a couple penalties here. Plus 475, that's at BetMGM. And then maybe you go Justin Falk. What's Justin Falk? He is plus 650 for a power play point. He's plus 105 to pick up a point. The Blues are going to get some chances here today. Hammerhead's had a few coffees with Bailey's this morning. LA's not shutting out Florida. If he does, we'll give him the props that he deserves. But 100%. If he also break my heart because I'm in on the Barkov assist, the Verhaeghe shots, the Verhaeghe point. Let's have it. Okay, so we did it. Let's go to you for goal scorers. Right. Actually, wait. Save your goal scorers.
Yep.
I'll do sides. You'll do goal scorers. I'll wrap up with a couple myself. Okay, so for me, again, 2 units on the Blues to win in 60. Playing pretty good hockey. Getting good goaltending. Yep. Shot attempts should be there. Just picking on a Blues on a Sharks team at the moment. So the plus 150 for them to win on the puck line is gone, but I do like the plus 125 is still available to you. Let's ride this out with the Canucks at plus 125. I also like the over in that hockey game. I like the Penguins on home ice. It does sound like Jack Hughes is going to miss another game. Nico Heischer's on IR. So we got Pittsburgh at minus 132. I like the Vegas Golden Knights to win in 60. You can get that at, let's see here. I think this is a pretty good price at minus 115 for Vegas to win in 60. And that's it. I'm not diving into Tampa. I'd stay away from it. I just don't feel great about Chicago either. But that's where I'm at for the games. And I also like the over between the Panthers and the Kings. What you got?
All right, here we go. DeBrincat, Perron, Brady Tkachuk, Stützle, Eichel, Marchessault, Caulfield, Suzuki, Keller, Krause, Laine, Marchenko, Toffoli, Meyer, Crosby, Malkin, Kucherov, Stamkos, Bedard, Reichel, Pedersen, Miller, Kadri, Mangiapane, Nelson, Barzell, McCann, Schwartz, Kyrou, Thomas, Hurdle, Eklund, Reinhart, Matthew Tkachuk, Kempe, PLD. The 8-way Maniac parlay goes as followed. DeBrincat, Eichel, Keller, Crosby, Kucherov, Bedard, Pedersen, and Matthew Tkachuk. Bedard to score a goal tonight is my lock of the evening.
Oh, baby. All right. I have a couple goal scorers here too. I think we had, like I said, I think we had a good Tuesday, 9 for 13 in the article. I'll have about 10 to 13 again. I think we narrowed it down to 5 for me last week and on Tuesday, and I think we got them. Let's see if we can do it again. Jonathan Marchessault for me, Jake Gensel, Carter Verhaeghe, Adrian Kempe, Jordan Kyrou. I like the Bedard call. I would say Elias Pettersson in Vancouver. I'm going to stay away from the Kraken and the Islanders there. I think you could take a couple Blues here, like a couple long shot Blues, like maybe Jacob Vrana or Kevin Hayes. But I like Jordan Kyrou there in that game. And yeah, that's it. Marchessault, Gensel, Kyrou, Kempe, Verhaeghe, and I'm with you on the Bedard. For some props tonight, I think it's I don't have a lot of shot props that I like. I'm just going to go to Jordan Kyrou for over 3.5. I like the Robert Thomas assist. I like the point for Braden Shen. I can do a little Bet365 same game parlay with Robert Thomas and Buchnevich, and then Shen and Jordan Kyrou. I think maybe you want to take a stab late night hockey watching. If the early slate works out for you, you can take a stab on some of these power play points when it comes to Krug and Justin Falk. I like Anze Kopitar for an assist at plus 140. Also like the point at minus 140. Don't mind drinking a little bit of juice there. The Barkov assist as well at plus 118. Adam says that you got minus 118 for a Carter Verhaeghe point over at Bet Rivers. I like that one as well. Just for straight shot props here tonight, I would go with Marchessault 2.5. I like the Eichel assists, Alex Pietrangelo for 3 shots. I actually don't mind the Barrett Hayton point either, just linked to Schmaltz and Clayton Keller, and he's been hitting the score sheet a little bit lately. Connor Bedard for over 3.5 shots. Quinn Hughes for over 2.5, a little bit juice. Brock Nelson at over 2.5. Jared McCann at over 2.5, like Verhaeghe. And that's it. So we got a lot more over at ftnbets.com. The Barkov one's good, a good call too. He has been shooting. But sometimes when Verhaeghe's on that line, I feel like he passes it off, but I like the call. 2.5 shots he has been shooting is pretty good price lately for him too. That's the global series. We're getting the early game from Detroit and Ottawa, and we're going to get an early one tomorrow, I think, with the Leafs as well. So there's some overseas action happening, I believe, in Sweden. Some hockey over there. So I think that's why we're getting on some early action. All right, EY, good stuff as always. We'll chat to you guys next week on Tuesday. I know it's American Thanksgiving, so we probably won't have an episode on Thursday. There's no hockey anyways. And there's a ton on Black Friday, so maybe I'll get together Friday and I'll do a quick little solo Dangle Bet Celly episode, or get another Canadian that can join me on the Friday. We'll let the Americans have their day. All right, EY, appreciate you. 5-0 Kings. I say like 6-5. I say like 6-5 Kings. Talbot pulled in the second period. Just kidding. I take a stab on that 130-1 that Adam gave you with the 5-0 victory. Why not? You call a lot of good things on this show, so maybe it'll be another great call by you. All right, we're out of here at the Eric Young. Guys, do us a solid. Smash the like button. Rate, review, subscribe. Please. Tell a friend. We really do appreciate all the support. You guys are fantastic, and we will talk to you guys soon. Have a